Hey everyone, welcome back to the Old Music Marathon podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Today we have some special guests. We got Lucas, then we got Luke, and we also got Russell from the band, The Monday Smile. How you boys doing today?
Well, good, thanks, guys. How you doing?
Had to excuse the noise. They actually picked a studio, and unfortunately we got a drummer playing in the background there, I guess.
Yeah,
What's good we're playing at?
yeah. Sorry about that.
What's the band playing behind you? Is it a different group that's coming in to do some recordings?
I think it's just somebody practicing, like like practicing their drums.
Just an individual practice, I think.
Because we just finished band practice.
Yeah.
That's why we're here, because it's like 11:30 at night here now.
So it's past your bedtime. So
It's way past.
Pretty much. And our studio time just ended, so we've got to do it on the corridor.
Yeah. But it's live feel. It's good.
we'll make do with the noise in the background there too. But how you guys been recently? What's new?
We've just been essentially, we had a little break over Christmas, and doing writing, lots of recording, and we've been rehearsing a lot for a load of shows we got booked at the beginning of this year. So we're going to head out and do probably about 4 or 5 dates at the start of the year. And we're just writing we're finishing up our first record at the moment. We're still writing our second as well at the moment too.
We're not wasting time.
Yeah, we're getting on with it,
I'm trying to get here.
We're right.
All right, that's pretty cool. I guess. So which part of the world are you guys hailing from? Because I'm assuming it's somewhere in the UK, because I got a lot of people I've interviewed out of the UK. So
Yeah. We're the UK. Best place really is like Heathrow Airport. So it's like London, but West London. That's where we're based.
So I kind of live here and work out of here.
Yeah, but I'm from Poland.
Yeah.
But I've been living here for over 7 years in West London. Hammersmith.
I've been to London twice. I'd say it's a beautiful city, but boy, we barely even scratched the surface. We're mainly just seeing obviously the main attractions. So
yeah, you probably got everything you need from it. To be honest with you, it's not that exciting. It's like,
really cramped.
Okay, it's just another big city full of people,
And weirdos.
and weird people. Yeah. That's why we're here, because we're weird.
in a good way. Let's
Yeah,
be humble about that. So
Always.
actually, I would say you guys are still building. I mean, when I was there, I was seeing like a whole bunch of cranes and everything too. You'd think that whole infrastructure package or whatever you blokes are doing out there seems to be working.
There's lots of building work all the time, and it gets in the way of lots of stuff because of the small streets. It's really old.
Yeah.
The best part is the roadworks, though, because they're just everywhere all the time. So, yeah.
But you get to listen to lots of music in the car, and maybe podcasts too.
Yeah, so it's all good, really, isn't it?
You get to some blokes right there just blasting a nice little tunes on the side there while they're doing a little jackhammering work. So
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
that's for sure. All right. I guess how's the weather been out there? Because I don't know how bad London gets during the winter times.
It's okay. It's just it's a little bit cold. Not as cold as it normally is, I don't think.
No,
I think it's pretty mild. It doesn't.
we've been lucky this winter. It's been really mild and just not really rainy even. I don't know whether we're going to get that in the end of January and February.
Yeah, it's normally end of January, February here, and it gets like horrible. I don't do well with the cold. Like, I'll become a miserable bastard when it's cold.
We're at like 7 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Brian snowed in.
Yeah. I mean, what temperature do you get there? Like minus?
I mean, I don't know too much in Celsius. I suck at Celsius, to be honest with you, but I can tell you in Fahrenheit, it was like 19 degrees Fahrenheit just driving my car. So whatever that equates out to be, -5
Cold.
Celsius.
Yeah,
That's pretty cold.
Yeah, it's really cold.
Yeah,
we didn't get that cold.
We get like just below freezing,
Yeah,
and that's like as cold as it gets.
Yeah, close to freezing. Yeah, or just above actually recently.
Yeah.
All right. It's all good out there. Had to drive in this weather, but we're here and we're kicking some ass. So
Yeah.
that's all it matters. But boys, welcome to my podcast right here. And the way it's going to work is I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Let's get to know the books behind the music right here, as well as who you guys are individually. And I guess what your role is in the band as well here too. So you guys ready?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start with Lucas there at the end, and then we'll work our way down the other way, okay? So Lucas, tell us your backstory about how you became a musician and what role do you play in the band?
Right. Well, it's pretty a long story, but basically, I started going to a choir when I was 8 years old. That was my parents' idea, and I kind of hated it in the beginning, but I stayed there for quite a long time. In the meantime, when I was 12, 13, I started playing piano, and I did music school. And when I was 15, I started playing drums. Um, the main instrument, and which was my individual decision. I was inspired by a song I was listening to when I was playing Need for Speed Most Wanted. And yeah, and then it just developed from there. I was just playing in bands instantly and started gigging quite soon. And yeah, and I studied jazz back home for 3 years, and I moved to London to study popular music performance. And I got into some cool bands in London, like the one that Smile. Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, no. So all right. And Luke?
I was about 14, I think, roughly, and I was sitting in the school lunch hall, and there was a band playing on the stage randomly. I don't know why, because normally there wouldn't be a band playing on the stage, but there was. And at the time, I didn't know what songs they were covering. Like, it was just, but I was just like, what is this music? This turned out it was Nirvana. And because I asked the singer afterwards, I was like, what are you playing? And they were like, oh, this band Nirvana. Da, da, da. And so I checked out Nirvana, and that was it. And then the next weekend, I went down to this local shop and I bought my first guitar. And then since then, I just kept playing and been in and out of bands my whole life, really, like punk bands and rock bands and whatever else. And then I stopped doing it for 10 years. And then I decided to start making music again. And I went on the equivalent of a dating website for bands.
Yeah.
And I basically swooned Wookie, and we met up and we just started jamming, and then that's how it really first started. And
Thank you, Bandmix.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've known this fucker since we were kids, and then it was just, it made sense to
Sounds
get
cool.
Russ in the band. And it just happened,
Yeah. Actually, when you were saying it's almost like the Tinder sort of those dating sites you talk about right there too. So I understand Bandmix. I haven't used it in a while. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, I was lucky I wasn't band mix, it was a phone call. But we've known each other since school. I started playing sort of piano when I was 8 and just listening to my mum and dad's record collection. They were into like the Stones and Beatles and that kind of thing. But then my uncle said, you don't want to listen to that, and gave me like the Clash's first record, 999, the Subhumans, loads of like old school punk stuff. And that really caught my ear, and I was like, oh, I really want to learn how to play that. My dad had an acoustic guitar. I was messing about on that, but it wasn't really my thing. So that's when I said, look, I want to learn bass. I want to be a bass player. So my parents like hired a bass for me and stuff, and we were hanging out in the music room because it was the place where all the weird kids hang out at lunchtime, and we just started loads of different bands, loads of cover bands, function bands, punk bands, really fast double time stuff, really screamy things. And I've always had a love and appreciation of like that kind of epitaph, Fat Records, 90s, alternative, like odd, weird kind of stuff. It just gets my ear. I mean, it's a bass player I love, Primus, for example. That's just, he's an amazing bass player. and I think their music's really great. It's really inspiring to me.
I say he's got the punk element with the mohawk, and I guess we can even call it like a cotton candy sort of style right there.
Yeah, and then it's more about like living the way you want to live your life, and just don't be addicted to people. That's what I think punk is. It's not a certain thing. I think everyone can be punk, especially in this day and age. Our country has developed a lot, and people are a hell of a lot more tolerant and understanding of people than when we were growing up, certainly, which is great. It's just widening people's minds and making them think and not be sheep. Don't just follow everyone. Like, think for yourself, engage your mind, and be intentional with your actions. That would be my 2 pence. And if you don't like it,
Okay, double whammy. How about this? Nice little double whammy. Yeah. Let's say it's normally the motto everyone should be living by, but unfortunately, we live in the world of sheep and wolves. Whenever you think about it, so
yeah.
amen to that, brother. Love you. All right. So I guess whose idea was the Monday Smile? I want to first know the history about the group, then I'll want to jump into the name afterwards.
So I guess it kind of started. I spent loads of time writing a bunch of songs on my acoustic, and to be honest, I'd given up music really. And then I just started feeling that need to start playing again, and then I went for a bit of a messy divorce kind of vibe, and it gave me a lot of free time, and then I just started playing more. And then, to be honest with you, like, I messaged Wookie on that band mix, and I got nothing back for like 6 months or something.
He was seeing other drummers.
Yeah, I was very, hurt by that. And
I really admire your patience.
yeah, and I literally just given up. I was just like, I'm not going to bother with this. I can't find a decent drummer. And then I get this message, and this like very self-assured message. It was like, hey, I might have some space. And I was like, oh, who's this guy?
I remember messaging from work.
Yeah.
I was like so busy. Yeah, super busy. Okay, I've got some time. Okay, let's do it.
But genuinely, he was like, oh man, I really like what you're doing. Like, let's hook up. And we just kind of just started jamming. And the way it started really was, I knew this other guy, and we got him in to have a couple of rehearsals with us, and that it was working, but it wasn't really, like something wasn't quite right. It wasn't feeling quite right. And then I had a rehearsal with just Wookie, and we were like really gelling. It was like nothing I'd done before, like with anyone. Like, it was just felt very real. And I was like, we need a bass player. Like, we need to find someone. And I was like, well, I know this guy. He's a little bit insane, but he's really good. And he's just a little bit out there. And Monkey was like, I like out there. Let's try him out. So we got Russell down, and it literally, like, within the first rehearsal, we were just jamming straight away.
Yeah.
And like, to be frank about how it works with us, yeah, we literally wrote our first album within what,
3 months.
3 months.
I've never worked with musicians either that you were all on the same page.
Yeah, it just made sense.
Jam over things, and it's cool.
And now, like, we're at the stage where we're just finishing recording the first record ourselves, and now we're like maybe 6-7 songs into the second, and we've already evolved beyond our first. You know what I mean? And it's kind of weird for us because we're in a situation where we've written a bunch of songs that no one has heard yet, that we're already like, yeah, we're ready to move on now, and that's crazy. So,
and it's only been a year?
Yeah, we've only been together, well, basically it'll be a year in what, March.
Yeah.
And for us, kind of like, just accepting that we've got this whole record that we're going to have to learn to, like, love you know, and perform loads while we're writing this second one. But our second one is definitely it's not a departure from what we're doing on the first, but it's definitely an evolution, you know. But that's basically how the Monday Smile operates. We just go into a rehearsal room and we're supposed to rehearse our songs for the next show. We end up writing 3 songs and then be like, oh shit, we got no time to fucking rehearse.
Can we do another one?
Yeah, let's do it again, you know.
And we dive deep, and there's no time for an old set.
Yeah, so but we're getting better at that, aren't we? We're kind of like making sure we run it, you know.
Yeah,
That's a great story.
Inside. Yeah.
You're gonna be props too, especially for how quickly you guys came together, as well as make some new music out there too. Actually, I gave some listen to those ones last night there too.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, at the end of the day, like we keep talking about it. It's not really us, you know. Like it feels like we're just involved with it, you know. Like it's like we're a conduit or something to it.
Yeah.
And we just get it just comes to us, and we're just lucky participants in the experience of it. And I think that's the main takeaway for us, is that we're just experiencing something really cool between us. And you know,
if it gets out of the rehearsal room, that's cool.
Yeah.
If
people like it, that's cool. We love it. Like we love playing it. We love doing it. You know, and that's, to us, that's the main thing. It's just making art.
That's cool. Actually, I was gonna say, it was almost like you guys were blessed in the way. Undressed and blessed by the Lord. That's our deal in terms of music abilities. So.
Yeah, well, whatever's out there, man. You know, it's good. The universe.
Apparently. Actually, why do we call Lukas Wookiee? I guess, is he real big into Star Wars, or can he do the Wookiee chant?
Yeah. Give Wookiee a chance.
I think the Wookiee thing doesn't come from Star Wars. It comes from because his actual name is Lukas, right?
Yeah.
And the story behind that is essentially this: when I met Wookiee, he called himself Lukas, and my name's Luke. So and it's spelled in similar, right? So for about 6 months, I called him Lukas, and then I was at a show in another band that he was playing with, and the guitarist of his band was like, "Oh, Lukas," and I was like, "Who's Lukas?" It's like, that's Lukas. I was like, "What? This guy?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, that's Lukas." He's like, "No, his name's Lukas." So I turned to Lukas and I was like, What's your fucking name?" He's like, "Lukas." I'm like, "But I've called you Lukas for 6 months and you've not corrected me." So
that's what happens with dating websites.
Yeah. So after that,
the wrong name.
After that, I was like, right, well, I just started calling you Wookiee for some reason, and I don't think I'm the first person.
You're actually not the first one. I don't know why, but yeah, I guess it becomes natural because of the Wook, and people just do Wookiee. The other, actually, my the guitarist from another band he's been calling me Wookiee for a while now. So I guess it happens naturally. I'm a natural Wookiee. But I don't do the sound though. So
I'll do it for you, Bill.
You know, I'm tempted to try. It's like, or something like that. I don't know. It's absolutely terrible. But I mean, I think another example would be like he needs to rip somebody's arms off if he's losing a game of chess. So people know you're strong, man.
Enough to play chess, so I think I'm safe. My arms are safe.
Yeah.
Although he could probably rip someone's arms off. All that drumming strength.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's punk style, kind of helped out in the end there, Wook.
It's a proper workout every time, and like when we start playing, I play with my, checkered shirt, and I'm taking it off, and then I need to take a t-shirt off because I'm sweating like a pig, and like, it gets really steamy in the room. Trust me.
The man smell.
Yeah.
The studio's
like proper man cave.
From all 3 of us.
Yeah.
Because we bounce around. It's a really great. Like at the end of a lot of tough working week, it's really cool to just know that you've got that time with your friends making great music.
Yeah.
I don't think we really operate like other bands. Like when we're in a rehearsal studio, we treat it like a opportunity to just like therapize ourselves, if that's a word, you know, like just kind of let go of things. So we just absolutely just rock out and have a good time. You know, it's not like, oh, we need to, you know,
Do
we don't do that stuff. I think we're just a little bit. I think we're just too lazy, but I don't know. we just love doing it. So we're just like, okay, what we're gonna do now? Oh, we're gonna write a new song. We got a gig tomorrow. Yeah, but fine, it's fine.
The best plan is no plan.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Just don't have a plan and see what happens.
The best plan is to improvise.
Yeah.
How'd you guys come up with the name the Monday Smile? Because I always thought everybody, as Luke had said earlier, was a miserable bastard when it comes to Mondays.
Yeah,
That's exactly it, man. Like I had that idea for that name way before I met Wookie. It was just sort of sitting in my head because it was like on a Monday, everyone fake smiles because they're going to work, you know. Like, oh, hey, yeah, good to see you guys. Yeah, I've just had a weekend of fucking doing what I want, and now I'm just being a slave again. Here we go, you know. And that's certainly how I fucking feel. And then I was like, oh, the Monday Smile. And then so I sat on that name, and then when we were trying to come up with a name for the band, I sort of mentioned it at the start, and everyone was like, oh yes, good name. And then I tried to think of others, and nothing stuck.
No.
And it was just like,
I didn't really want to actually. I
Yeah.
just liked it.
Yeah, it was
To be
just
honest,
like-
it really stuck. Yeah,
And it evolved.
it's a message. I think.
Yeah. And then the smiley face thing, that was a weird one because because like obviously we're just a DIY band, so we were like, oh, we need to take some photos, and we were like, well, I'm not going to pay to have photographs done, like that's stupid. So we got like our iPhones or whatever, and we got like a tripod thing, and we went outside the studio, and we just we were going to take photos in front of this like.
Because it's quite industrial.
Yeah, this metal box. Yeah, it's just a metal box. I don't know what's in it.
Quite rusty as well.
Yeah, and I was like, I had like a Sharpie with me, and I was just gonna like draw something, you know, like write some words, something like, you know, something punk rock or whatever, something to say, you know, that would be like memorable. And I couldn't think of anything, and I was like, well, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to write something because that would be like completely inauthentic. And I just thought, and I just drew a smiley face. So I drew this smiley face, and then we took the photo, and then I was like, we were like, really like that smiley face. So I took the photo, the smiley face from the photo, and then I just cut out all the thing around it, and then we just put it on our t-shirts. So that smiley face is literally on all our merch and all our, you know, and it's just like something that was just hand drawn by us at one random afternoon we were trying to take a photograph. And that's kind of how we work. It's just very sort of random, not thinking about it. It might bite us in the arse at some point. I don't know, not thinking about things, but it seems to work for us now. So
I think trying to do the smiley face with the X's that have been already taken. I think that was Green Day who did something similar. So
originally, Nirvana had the crosses across the eyes and the squiggly mouth with the tongue, and we actually thought to ourselves, well, we're a grunge band, and we kind of got a smiley face. Is that a little bit too close to home? And I was like, well, it would be if we were intentionally trying to rip that off. You know what I mean? But it wasn't even that thought process. So I'm a great believer in just like, I've always said that art is theft anyway. Like there's not an original thing on this planet anymore, you know, like everything's been done and you're basically taking what's come before and you're trying to make it your own. So you're always going to be influenced by something, whether that's music, art, film, I don't know, fucking your breakfast. It doesn't matter. Like it's something that's come from something else, you know. There's not going to be another Beatles. There's not going to be another Nirvana. There's not going to be another, I don't know, Stones, Sex Pistols, whoever. It's all been done. You know, it's all been done. And
but the beauty, I think, of the modern day is that we had to scratch around for vinyl and records and tapes and copy it off friends and stuff like that. Whereas nowadays you can listen to literally all the music in the world, even like underground bands in different countries, because of the internet. So even though it's given us that like kind of sterility in one way, it's helped us get more inspiration in another. We come from a place where like we'd want to just make art and just see what happens.
Yeah.
We don't want to like have a formula of things and say, oh, this song must be in this key and it must have this chord progression and it must modulate. Fuck all that.
We're not that smart.
And I know how some people approach songwriting like that because they take it really seriously and that's part of their craft and their love for it. But that's not how we work there.
I was checking it out on Spotify. It did seem you guys said you were more of a grunge band because the way Russell here is kind of describing it, looks like you kind of fuse a little bit of punk into it too. Is that kind of how you describe your genre of music?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, grunge is like
Low punk.
It's more miserable, slower cousin, you know. Like, I mean, if you look at any of the early grunge bands that we love, you know, they're basically punk bands anyway, and well, they've got songs that have those punk sensibilities, and I think you can get really lost amongst the weeds with genres in relation to like grunge, punk, rock, metal, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we only started calling ourselves New Grunge because someone mentioned it to us, and we were like, yeah, well, we can't be grunge because we aren't from 90s Seattle. Like, you know, we weren't born, you know, back then. Well, we were born in the 80s, but well, I was anyway. And you were.
Yeah, same age.
And you were born
10 years after.
Yeah.
10 years after, yeah.
So he was born when Kurt died. You might be Kurt reincarnated. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I wish, though.
He's hoping.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I'd be like, oh, you go and have hypnotism, and then suddenly it's like, boys, I was Kurt in another life. Anyway, we're going off one. But yeah, so we went New Grunge, and we got a lot of pushback for that, like initially a little bit.
Which I think means we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, if you're not pissing someone off, then you're not doing it right, you know?
Because that means that people have to develop an opinion. And it's nice that people are actually taking the time to listen, to think and go, fucking hate that. Blah, 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 blah. And we can just go, cheers, legend. We're going to do it anyway. Because why? They were just shouting at us from afar. Fuck you!
And it means nothing at the end of the day. I mean, like, music is all about what you like, you know, and that is what's beautiful about it. You can't. I've never understood where these like, you know, these shows where they like competition of other artists and music and stuff they write, and it's like, well, what's to say that's good or not? It's your opinion. You don't like it. It doesn't mean it's shit. It just means you don't like it.
And that's fine.
That's absolutely fine. But don't go around telling everyone it's shit. Like, you don't know. Like, you know. So I think, yeah. I mean, I would say we are definitely grunge-esque. New grunge is probably the best tag for us because we've taken the stuff that's influenced us over the years and very much run with it. You know, like, we wear our influences on our sleeve, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Because if Wookiee is Kurt Cobain reincarnated, we should be asked, did Courtney Love kill you?
I think probably, yeah. Just not in the way that everyone thinks she did, you know.
Sucked his soul.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right. Actually, anytime I think of like new, or like in your case, new grunge, I always thought it had to be like post. Because obviously grunge had happened like way back in the day, and then you get like punk, and then it's like post-punk, like what you see with Green Day. So I guess you think it's kind of the same thing between post and new?
Yeah, I mean, you could call us post grunge, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, it literally was someone that was like, someone said, I don't know, it was like on some kind of comment or something. Oh, you're new grunge, and we're like, oh yeah, no, mate, that fits. Like, so it wasn't even our idea, really. It was just some kid that liked our music.
I think there's that whole kind of new metal thing where it wasn't metal, but it was metal, but it wasn't post metal because metal was still metal. Too many metals.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. So I think that's genres are really hard to name. Just please call us the Monday Smile. Listen to us. If you like it, cool.
Yeah.
If not, listen to something else. Find something you love.
As you gotta whip out the hound sort of catchphrase right there, just be like, fuck off. So
Yeah.
that's our deal. All right, that's all cool. But I know you guys been talking about influences here too, and I think from Luke, I'm saying like more of the Kurt Cobain, or actually more of the Chris Cornell with the Soundgarden starting to look if he had a kid with Jon Snow. So I guess would you guys say all the grunge bands kind of influenced you? Or I guess who else influenced you in terms of your play styles?
I can really only I know Russell's from a more punk background. For me, it is definitely grunge. Like you named. For me, it's Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. And even Mudhoney and Pearl Jam and just if it's 90s and it's grunge, I love it basically. And I kind of grew up on that, and it's always been a staple for me. I do like punk, like I love punk, and I grew up listening to that too, and other rock genres, and even jazz and all that. But essentially, like my influences are 90s grunge, And Wookie, what about you?
Well, to be fair, I kind of grew up on like metal and prog metal because my very first drum inspiration was the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold. His drumming was absolutely insane, and to this day, I think he was one of the most talented drummers out there. And I got into like heavy stuff, like I loved Meshuggah and like Trivium and Animals as Leaders, like heavy proggy stuff. But at the same time, I still like the pop punk or punk kind of side of it as well. So it was evolving. Then I was studying jazz, so that influenced me quite a lot. But after a while, I just came back to the roots, and yeah, these days it's definitely. I mean, this band inspires me. Like these two guys are my biggest inspirations right now. Because oh, it's not going like because we I don't know. There's this magic that
Yeah, there is.
makes things happen, and even though I don't know all the bands they know,
Doesn't matter.
like
Does it?
somehow
Yeah.
it happens, and I'm kind of inspired by the bands I haven't heard before, if you know what I mean. Like, because you told me like, you sound like this guy. I'm like, oh, who's that?
Yeah.
Never heard it,
Okay.
but
Yeah, like I think for me, obviously, growing up, when I heard Shellac, the bass tone on that is just, if you're familiar with it, like, is incredible. And that really kind of put a line between the things I was listening to in punk and that, because bass-wise, especially, things like the Damned and Crass and those kind of bands go for that kind of like skanky, distorted, trebly kind of tone that really supports the musicians do. So guys can wander off and do solo-y things, and the drums can be a bit more complicated. It can be weird time signatures. It's not to a metronome, it's not to a click. It's the feel of those people in that room that's captured on the recording. So I think that kind of all blends when we get into a room. We don't record to a metronome, or certainly I don't. I listen to what Wookie's done, and just I don't need you. I just need, I want to. I go with the drums and put my bit down, and then Luke does his things over the top, and then we get a mix, and we're like, yeah, and then talk about it, and then send it off for mastering, and then just hope it comes back sounding the same, which 9 times out of 10 it does.
I also think with the band as well, like because of Russell's influences with his punk stuff, like with the walking bass lines and the like quite the busy bass lines, like that is Russell's style, and Wookie and Russell really complement each other really well. And what my guitar playing is essentially very basic. Like I would never class myself as like some guitar virtuoso, but I mean. Yeah, I just play guitar, so
Yeah.
it allows space, you know.
Well, you know what to play.
Yeah, I know what's needed, and
Yeah, 100%.
and it allows everyone some space, and that's what makes the Monday Smile. It's not just sort of like Russell just doesn't play the root notes, you know, like he plays his.
Occasionally.
Yeah, you do, yeah. I mean, I've said it before. Like Wookie's a very inventive drummer, so he writes hooks on his drums, which I find really enjoyable. And these two work together really well. Like they really bring out the best of each other. But the main thing about the Monday Smile that makes us so unique as who we are is that it's not one person. It's not like I write the fucking songs and then I just tell them what to play or whatever. We literally just jam in a room together. Nobody tells each other what to do. There's no like, oh, I think you need to play this or blah blah blah. There's no ego.
Yeah,
There's no. It's just like, oh, let's just make something, and then we're like, oh, I really like that, and I might turn to Russell and go, oh, Russ, man, I think maybe in this chorus you might want to lock in with what Wookie's doing because it's really cool, and then Russell will be like, oh yeah, okay, then they'll do it, or Russell might play something to me and then be like, what about this, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll play that too, you know, and there's no like. It's just about the music. It's just about the music. It's nothing else. Like there's no like.
Yeah, we're not really precious about our parts or anything.
No.
Like if you have an idea, we're always open to it. There's no ego. There's no yeah. We don't own anything really. We just work to make the best song, possible. And if Luke has a drum idea, I actually love it because I get more creative about it because you always have your set of ideas and someone from the outside can give you something else without being a drummer, So I really like that, and we're always totally open to anything. Yeah, I think that's the key to a good working machine.
Yeah, a good group is listen to each other, understand, just don't be dick.
As we referenced earlier, so yeah, so I can see why.
Yeah.
It's we're the most easiest going band that we pretty much can be. So
yeah.
I'll get anything in the way there too. But speaking of, the next question here kind of delves into COVID here too. So I'm not too sure when you guys had got together to form the Monday Smile, but I guess how bad was COVID for you guys personally, family, and then if you want to list anything music wise, go ahead and we'll start with Wookie.
Right. Well, pretty much a shit time, not gonna lie. So I one of my bands actually dissolved after COVID. We actually managed to record stuff during lockdowns because obviously everyone had a lot of time. And we thought that was a good idea for us to, work on the band and, make the most out of it. But, in the end, the singer disappeared and things started just, drifting apart. And I just don't think we were meant for each other. Yeah, I mean, well, apart from that, the life was pretty upside down. Actually got it. I was quite ill and it was pretty shit. It definitely affects you really badly because all the gigs are cancelled. You can't really do much out there, and yeah. It was. I'm not gonna say it was a pretty shit time. I did manage to go home for like 3 months and had the best holiday ever. But yeah, in terms of making music, playing gigs, it was a nightmare. And yeah, I hope it never happens again. Really. Yeah, and I had to start everything from the scratch.
Yeah,
literally after it happened, like we're building from the scratch.
And I think that's also the same with audiences. It's because we stopped going places and doing things like we usually did before. People have kind of forgotten that, so it's harder, I feel, to get people to live shows than it probably was before COVID. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think less people, were going out because they were scared, and you can still see people wearing masks. And
I'd stopped, and it was actually a pretty fucking good time for me because I just had my daughter, and I was, furloughed off work, and I just got to spend all day with my newborn. She was about just about one, like, so I was just hanging out with my daughter all the time. It was awesome. I was getting paid to sit at home. I was like just drinking whiskey and listening to fucking music. It was so good. And then I'm a bit of an anti authority kind of person anyway. So I was kind of like, yeah, fuck you, government, fucking pay for it, like. And I guess I have a very obscure view of how it affected musicians because I'd stopped being one for so long. So when Wookie talks about it like that, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that must have been really like, that's your identity, that's your home, and then like it's taken away from you, like. And there was a point, wasn't there, when you like no one was sure it would ever go back. And what a weird world we live in, man. Like it never happened now. Like people are just like, how quickly we forget, like how things change. And you think some lessons would have been learned from it, socially and like, well, economically, everything. But I don't think anything's been learned from it. I think it's almost like everyone's just like, right, we'll go back to capitalism again. We'll go back to not caring about anything or anyone. We'll just do it.
The politicians keep lying.
They're just back at it.
Especially in this country. They say one thing, do the opposite when they get in power. Hey, that's probably the same everywhere.
It's funny. I think it's a very good experiment that we did on the human race and how absolutely forgetful we are and how easily led we are, and just all of it. It just makes me laugh in a way.
At least we go to Planet Breather, all the planes stopping and traffic stopping for a little while. Trees flourished, birds happened, it was good.
Yeah, that's true.
It was really sunny where we were.
Yeah, we had some heat wave.
We had a heat wave for months.
First lockdown was like ridiculous. It was like, oh my god, I'm not only off work, I can sunbathe all day and do nothing.
That was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay, there were a lot of upsides. Okay,
It's positive.
when you think of it, there's a lot of positive.
Yeah,
I just walk the dog in my shorts all day, and I'd be like, what is going on? This is insane. But in England, anyway.
But I guess you kind of had to, because if you're involved with the theatre or the music business or anything like that, all of that stopped. And you were lucky you were furloughed. Not many people were, and that's really hard. At least in this country, we have like support from like the benefit system that we have in this country, and other countries didn't have that. I had to work all the way through it. My wife was a nurse and I was a teacher, so we were doing like Zoom online lessons, and she was back and forth to the hospital at crazy hours and stuff. So I got it 5 times.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah, I was collecting the new variants as they were being announced. I was like, Delta variants come in. I'm going to have that next week. And I'm very lucky, obviously, because we got over it and had all the jabs and stuff too. And the kids are all right, and that's all that matters. They'll learn to flourish. They'll listen to our music and be like, yeah, we don't want to come and see you. We're going to go and see the other cool bands down the road.
Or stay in our bedrooms because because we don't know how to socialise anymore.
I guess so. But all jokes aside, happy to see you boys are doing well out there. So it's good to see you guys pull through. So I know Russell said he got it. I guess Lukas and Wookie, I guess, were you guys okay? Did you catch COVID at one point?
I had COVID. I had it pretty bad, actually. But I'm still here. Like, I think. I just stayed in bed for weeks and watched every single film you could imagine, and I started to lose my mind a little bit. To be honest,
Coughed a lot.
It's awful.
I actually lost my mind.
Did you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah,
that explains a lot.
yeah, yeah. It was pretty bad.
yeah, I mean, it's not a nice experience, but yeah, right.
Well, I hope it doesn't happen again, because they're talking there's another sort of
There's always something.
potential thing happening in China and stuff like that. But yeah, hey,
I'm, you know,
is that to sell more?
I've just had a horrible cough for like 2 months. It's just decided to go away, and it's like, you know, it's always something out there. You know what I mean? It's just, I think it was just highlighted. People were scared.
Yeah.
You know.
We've got 2 drummers playing now.
Yeah.
It's like one in that room. One in this.
Be a drum solo. So yeah,
Yeah. Love that.
it's good to see you guys pull through there too. And Boogie, thank you for getting your mind back, or I guess however much of his mind he got back from losing it. So
Yeah.
but I have asked this question because like I mentioned earlier, I've interviewed a good number of people out of the UK, but a couple even out of London as well here too. But from your perspective, I guess how's the music scene been since they started lifting restrictions?
I mean, there's a lot of gigs. Things picked up pretty well, I think, because people were ready for it. You know, everyone just wanted to play, to go out and see friends. Obviously, there was a part that wanted to stay home, but I'm quite sure it kind of regrew pretty quickly.
But I think if you want to go to like a big show of like bands that you love, for example, you know, like arena or even like 5,000 capacity venues, ticket prices doubled. It was the amount of security, you know, and like the handling fees and that kind of thing, and that it's weird because they still sell out even at that price. So you're like, mate, okay,
Yeah, but a bit more bureaucracy.
Yeah.
In terms of.
but it's not. We know that it's not. I think it's not going to the artists or the crew, whatever. It's going to the people that book it.
Yeah.
You know, like we would like whatever show that we play was to not be involved with things like Ticketmaster and that kind of thing, because it's not giving back to even the crews. I'd much rather the crews and the security on the actual door get some money. Do you know what I mean? For like looking after 5,000 people, not just someone sitting the other side of the world in Antarctica, for all we know, and a pile of money going, yeah, made loads of money out of that gig. Yeah, but what are the people that made the music and enjoyed the environment and the show?
I think also the bigger discussion really with all this stuff is not really about COVID anymore. Like COVID was an incident that happened and it did create chaos. But I think the bigger discussion really is like what the streaming and all of that has done to the music industry or art in itself. And while it's like got its great sides, you know, like it's a double-edged sword really, like, and I think it's really the value of music in culture now is very small. Like it's throwaway, you know, and I think that is something that we've really noticed. I certainly have. Is that, you know,
people don't get vinyl.
People don't buy records anymore. People don't think
to listen to it. It's on in the background while you're doing something else, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just kind of sad because, you know, you've got, and we get it as well with promoters as well. It's kind of like promoters act like they're doing you a favor by booking you, and then you're like, well, without us, you have no.
They're not really promoters. They're gig bookers. But you're obliged to promote the gig. So who's the promoter? Who's the band? You know.
And they're like, they say they're not paid to play, but they wrap it in a different way. You've got to sell a certain amount of tickets, and you're like, well, that's the job of the promoter, not us. But our job is to write the songs and perform and give an audience what they want.
Yeah, the audience needs to be people we don't know. Who've not discovered us. Yeah.
Your job is to promote the show and find an audience that wants to watch it. And if you can't do that, then you need to book bands that will pull an audience that people want to see, and if you know, and all that kind of stuff. And it's it's just it's a very toxic, strange vibe nowadays, you know, like in relation to that. So it makes it difficult for grassroots bands to like actually make anything of themselves, because you've got no support, you've got no real I mean, you're not making any fucking money, that's for sure.
No.
So if you want to do it, just forget about money for a start. Like if you're trying to make money, don't be a musician. If you want to make music and you want to make art, be a musician, and you'll be happy, like, because you'll be creating stuff. But if you're in it to be rich, mate, you've picked the wrong business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, unlike America, where you've got like touring circuits, right? Like
We
where
don't have
you've also
that here.
got kind of like lots of like book yourself, do it. We don't have that here because we're too.
We don't have the
really.
infrastructure. We don't have the culture either.
Yeah.
It's a
narrow.
pyramid scheme.
Even though you can drive from one end of the country to the other in 6 hours, like which is like nothing for some. Yeah, like Canada, that's just the shops and back, for example. So because of the size of the land. I don't know. Maybe we should start it. Maybe that's our thing. We should start a tour, do-it-yourself tour. Link all the venues up so they know.
Who knows? We might do it in the future. You know,
As long as they got showers.
we just decide to do things, just do them. So who knows what will happen?
That's why I'm deciding to put on my jacket, because I'm
Yeah, cold. Yeah, it's already cold there. And this is our tangerine that we now have as a drummer.
Hello.
Oh,
I like orange, okay? Don't judge
it
me.
looks good on you.
I know.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
Oh, come on.
High vis.
Yeah.
Oh, so nice.
There's no heating in this flipping
corridor
hallway.
that we're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez, that improvised really. All right. Well, as I said earlier, in all seriousness, I see you guys are doing well, and I guess, do you guys have any plans for 2025? I guess just gonna keep sticking it around London, or you try to maybe do this little tour, or do it yourself for a tour?
Well, we actually do. We've got some plans. We're going to release a vinyl.
Yeah,
And
we've got.
release our album.
Yeah, we're doing like a GoFundMe to put our record out. So we've recorded the record ourselves, and just finishing up the last. Then we can get enough of people to. What about over? I don't know, halfway.
You're being a bit less
Less than half.
Yeah, but we're proudly self-made, so everything's recorded by us.
Yeah.
In the room next door.
So those tracks you heard were mixed by us. They were recorded by us.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
The only thing we didn't do was master it. But we got a really good mastering guy that does all that for us, which is really cool. So
Thank you, Ed.
yeah, thank you, Ed. So we're just essentially going to put that record out, and then just do as many fucking shows as we can. Whoever wants to book us, we'll play anywhere really, and we'll play at toilet. We don't care.
We've got quite a few shows booked in
Yeah.
February, actually.
Yeah, I think we've currently got like 5 shows in total booked, or maybe 4.
Yeah.
Between now and March, and then some others on the horizon.
Yeah.
We're going to try and get some festivals this year if we can.
We're going to try and avoid shit gigs, because there's a lot of them out there. Promoters tell you it's going to be great, but then you're paying for your friends, and you're paying £8 a pint, and you just spend 100 on Ubers and stuff. So yeah, this happens, and we're also learning where to play and where not to play, and who's the good promoter and who's a scammer. So we've got to grind through that shit, unfortunately, but that's what every small band has to deal with.
Yeah. So true.
I think we're doing well.
Yeah, we're doing good.
And maybe next year we'll go somewhere further afield, Europe. We've got a fan in Japan, which is great. He's already put full tour by vinyls.
They got even the tattoo. Yeah, they got a tattoo,
which is well cool. So
I mean, look, we'll like, if somebody books us, we'll go there. Like it's just as long as they can afford to fly us out, we'll do it. But who knows? Like, look, the world's a funny thing. Like, life is a funny thing, and who knows, 6 months, like we could be doing more, or it's just still grinding in a little toilet show. But it's not going to stop us, like we just love what we're doing. So as long as we love doing it and we love being creative, we'll just keep doing it. And so
All right, sounds good. So best luck out there, troopers. Make us proud. So
Thank you.
maybe sneak up and go to Scotland. Try to get there in Edinburgh or something like that.
yeah.
That's cool. Colder.
Pretty cool. The sun rises a little earlier too, so it's like 4:30 in the morning. So think of how that feels. That sucks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Right. So I guess, like, gear that you guys had to make the magic happen. I guess what you guys got.
I'll start. I guess I use an orange Tiny Terror as a guitar head, and I use a friend of ours. He builds guitar pedals called the Zero Fret, and he created this pedal called the Black Russian Rat, which is like a combination of the rat and the Black Russian Big Muff pedal, which bands like Smashing Pumpkins would use, and sorts. So I use that as my main distortion, and then I've got like a Squire Jazz Master, I think.
Yeah.
And I really like it because it sounds rotten, and it's jangly, and we tune right down, so we get this really deep, heavy sound from our stuff because our tuning, and that's basically all I use. I don't have a massive pedal board. I don't fuck around with any of that stuff. I keep it as simple as I can, so that I don't turn off my guitar when I'm playing. Basically, it's like go and stop. It's like a go-kart for me. Like it's like okay,
Go stop.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much simple in terms of that as well. The only difference is I've got a 5-string Music Man bass because we tune it down. I've had that for 23 years. That was my student loan, which is great. Spent on that. EQ and like a bit of dirt. He's really cold. And then a 4x10 can fills me out for most things really. So you go through the PA now a lot as a bass player. It's always a DI as a bass player. So the front of house sorts you out. He's a complicated one. Old Tango man here is really complicated.
I mean, I'm lucky here because in this studio we've got a beautiful SJC custom mahogany kit, which is amazing. We've got a big 24-inch cake, 13 rack, and an 18 floor tom, which is amazing for grunge. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
And I've got a Ludwig Black Magic snare, 14 by 6.5. If you want to know, it's so cool. I love it.
It's cool there.
Yeah, I've got a cool black snare drum head as well.
I like it.
Black snare drum head. It's very cool. And I've got some mix of Zildjian and Sabian cymbals, also big. So like K-Light hi-hats, 15-inch, like 19 and 20-inch crashes and 21-inch ride, and then 19-inch China. We're actually using China, which is kind of a metal-y influence here from my previous bands and whatever.
And you want to get a 3,000-inch ride cymbal as well, don't you?
I want to buy my 5th ride. I found the 23-inch Zildjian A Suite ride, the one that Taylor Hawkins was using. It's fucking amazing, but I've got like 4 rides and I have to slow down. But I love buying rides. They're the best cymbals because you can crash them. You can the bell is different every time. You can do so many things
Colors,
with one cymbal. And I'll probably, that's my mission for this year. I'll buy this ride, and you'll hear it on the album. I'm just letting it out. It will be on the new album. And I'm using sticks that break every time I play with them. So
London Stick Co. Come and endorse us. We're
Anyone, please.
Jeez,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
Right.
I'm spending money on ProMark and stuff, but they keep breaking. I like them, but they break.
I think you should go for the collision drumsticks. That's the ones I use. So they're pretty sturdy.
Collision.
Okay.
He'd break him. He'd break him. This man doesn't know his strength. He just. It's cool though, because I like seeing him just disappear behind his head, and like, you know, you kind of dodge him in the shows and that,
Yeah.
and then he like pulls one out like some kind of magician. It just starts. It
Yeah.
you don't miss a beat. Like,
It's great.
actually quite impressive, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean.
I kind of get it. Kind of makes me hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I forgot that.
It
But all right.
comes with,
Yeah.
it comes with practice.
Yeah.
You can tell he loves it. So
Yeah.
just throw that out there. Otherwise, I know Vic Firth's always a good one to use. So I'll leave it up to you there. Okay. I guess in terms of the lyrics, I guess just for the songs did you release so far, I guess what maybe kind of like delved into, like, are some of them pretty self-explanatory, or do you try to like tell a little story of a couple of them?
I think with my lyrics, I don't like to give the game away too much, because I always find that like people connect to songs, and then if the singer goes, "Oh, this song's about blah blah blah," then they're like, "Oh, I thought the song was about
Something else.
something else," and it kind of kills it for them. But I mean, I just yeah, they're very personal to me. Like lyrics, you know, I tend to allow just whatever comes out to come out, and I will just experiment with different lines, and then I'll find the meaning in the song. So I don't really go and sit down with my guitar and go, "Hey, I'm going to write a song about this today." You know, it normally is just a reflection of something I'm going through, and I'll be like, "Oh shit, yeah, that song's about that, like definitely," and then it would just happen. But you know, so Eat the Rich. I mean, Eat the Rich is one I can talk about because it's obvious what that's about. It's about the rich and how they just absolutely just suck. But I mean, not all of them, clearly. You know, I don't want to be judgmental, but you know, if you're very rich and you've got more money than I don't know.
Why do you need to be a billionaire?
Yeah, well, if you got £1 billion, man, you need to fucking just be not so greedy.
Share it about.
Because people are dying everywhere. So for me, like, I've got quite a clear sort of compass of that sort of stuff. So that's what Eat the Rich is about. Persona non grata is a very personal song. It's about not fitting in, essentially, being an outcast. And then I'm Not Going Out Like This is essentially just a big fuck you. It says like, yeah, I'm not giving up no matter what you do to me, I'm going to keep going. So but there's other songs, more personal songs on the album when it comes out, that I'm not going to tell anyone what they mean, and then they can make their own decisions about it. But the single like tracks that we put out, the ones that we think are going to like connect with people most, I don't mind talking about them so much, you know.
That's pretty cool. I guess so. Wookie and Russell, do you guys sometimes contribute to any of the lyrics? I guess even for these new songs you're trying to create in the process.
No, man.
I'm too dumb. I'm too dumb for this shit. Actually,
Again, it's just that process of just letting it flow.
Mm.
And while we're jamming, Luke will come up with 2 or 3 lines of things, and then third or fourth time we go through it, he might have an idea for a hook for a chorus, maybe, or like saying in the verse. And then we come back next week, he's like got the whole thing done. Sometimes it takes a bit longer.
I will say that they might not maybe not come up with the lines as such, but they will sort of, I will soundboard off them in the sense of like, I'll say a line and I'll either know it's landed or not, or it hasn't. Like I'll say it and then Wookie's like, yeah, like that. Like he'll be like, oh, but like, he pulls it. Wookie has a face, so it's like sort of, they have a face.
We have lyric faces.
And a music face that like literally they're excited by something. If I don't get that face, I'm just gonna shelve it, you know. Like I'm not precious, so it's not unless there's a line and I'm like, I fucking love this line, and then I say it and they're like, no, it's all right. Well, I'm like, well, I love it, so
I can say anyway.
you know, we'll see if it makes the cut, you know.
But we never really disagree. That's the thing.
No,
We're yeah.
it's not worth it, you know. It's just like it's music. It's not. We're not fucking, you know, politicians. They're the fuckers that should fucking, you know, worry about what they're doing. Not us. We're just making music, you know. It's art. Like it's 'cause in
the end, we're doing this for fun.
Yeah, for love.
Because we've all been in different bands, and you know, you're always trying to make it and you know make some money out of it. But in the end, this one is purely for fun. And if something else, you know, comes out of it, that's great. Yeah.
Which if I was gonna do like a roller coaster sort of thing next, would be like, wee. Everybody put your hands up. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
We're
guess jumping into
supposed to be.
Yeah. We are
Miserable.
sad. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I can't be sad.
We can't be sad. That's the thing. We gotta be happy. We gotta seize the day, as they would say. So,
Carpe diem.
carpe diem. So, the next question right here kind of does into the challenges. So it looks like the good news is you guys don't have to worry about the creative differences or anything like that normally seems to plague bands in that case. But I guess what sort of challenges do you guys feel like you face these days as musicians?
As musicians, just making it financially like feasible. I mean, like we've literally resigned ourselves to the fact that we don't make money out of this. So it would be nice to be able to like, I don't know, function on it in the sense of like we're not losing money. But other than that, like music, like for us, it's just making music. So it's like I don't know, eating breakfast for us. It's something we just do,
And it's like, therefore, the time to do that, we're really else goes on in life. You want to do that more, right? So you're trying to carve out bits of time.
You just make fucking
do
do
it.
it.
It's just, yeah.
If you want to do it like
It's an exercise.
that thing where people say, I haven't got time for that. What they're actually saying is, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because if you really want to do something, it doesn't matter how busy you are, you will find a way to do it. Like, so essentially, us three, we've all got busy lives. We all work, we all do stuff, you know, and
we find a way to do this.
we just find a way, man, like every time. And it's about being respectful of each other and also just understanding of what, you know, life is and not taking it, you know, being too precious about it. If someone can't make something, you find another day. Like, and you know, and if something goes wrong, it goes wrong. You know, like shit happens. So I think I think we're just very relaxed, about it. You know, and that's why it works. I think if we started trying to control things, it would all fall apart.
Yeah.
I think one of the challenges or you know downsides, I'd say, you know, is committing to music and you know sometimes spending a lot of time on it and you know putting money into it and finally going to the gig and there's you know like 7 people out there and you're like, oh fuck, so we've worked so hard just to play for these 7 people in this shitty bar. I'd say that's at least for me, that's sometimes becomes a challenge because when you can play a lot of these gigs, then you feel like, okay, why am I even doing this, right? What am I doing it? Who am I doing it for, right? Obviously, I'm doing it for myself because I love it, but at the same time, I would like more people to appreciate it, you know, like our music and listen to it. And I'm not even talking about the money, right? Like,
No.
money would be amazing. Like, okay, if we really got paid for gigs, well, you normally get a beer or maybe 20 quid for 3 of us. So that really isn't anything. But I'm talking about like the appreciation and
Yeah.
gig attendance. Really, I think that's
And people coming out and showing up saying, "Hey, big 40 set," that kind of thing will be good.
I mean, overall, I'd say we have like a really nice like gratitude anyway. Like people, even if it's a quiet gig, there's people coming to us and they want to chat and they buy a T-shirt, which really surprised us how many T-shirts we sold. So on that note, like we're happy, but you know, sometimes sometimes it is a bit tougher.
Thankful for reaching those guys that so far.
And we just essentially lean into the fact that we're together. So it while it's disheartening, we kind of like, okay, well, let's just treat it like we're together. We're just doing what we love to do. Like, even if we're feeling a bit like, oh, there's no one here. And you know, some gigs we play, there's quite a few people. Some gigs we play, there's no one. And I think that's a natural part of being in a band like ours in its infancy. But I think it's a lot harder than it used to be. It's a lot harder than it used to be. And when we were kids growing up, man, like there were a lot more people at gigs. There were a lot more people interested in music. And I think now, for whatever reason, whether that's post-COVID, post-whatever, post-record sales, no longer, like no one buys records anymore. I don't know, fucking the apocalypse. I don't know what it is, but yeah, difficult, and you just sort of cling to that sense of we're making music, so this is what we do, and you just keep going. But yeah, it's definitely kicking the nuts.
Yeah, and I guess for Wookiee, the whole money thing would just be icing on the cake whenever you think about it too. So
Totally.
Yeah.
But we appreciate what you do out there, mates. So make sure you keep going strong. So
thank you.
Okay. Boys, we've reached the questions here pretty good. So here's jump to, I call them the extra fun questions. So because we've been having fun so far. So you all ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start from Wookiee and then we'll work your right, my left. We'll do it that way. So okay. Wookiee, what would you say is your favorite food?
Favorite foods? Italian cuisine. Pizza. I love pizza with truffles. Absolutely love pizza with truffles.
Wow.
I had one yesterday evening in Norway, actually. That was lovely. And Italian pasta as well. So pretty standard, I'd say. Italian food. And chocolate.
Good choice.
And chocolate and orange juice.
And orange juice.
I'm not kidding. I love orange juice. Yeah.
I was supposed to come later. So.
My favorite food is whiskey. No, and I love steak. So I literally, I'm not lying. This is actually my favorite thing to do, is to have a steak on its own and a whiskey, and then that's literally my heaven. Like, and maybe some
manly.
maybe some jalapenos or something like that. You know,
Like
with the steak,
meat and whiskey.
and that's about it. You know, I'm a simple man. Like, I do like.
He's not, but okay.
Yeah, no, I don't like the truffles. I do like truffles, by the way. I would eat a truffle pizza any day of the week. I love food in general. Like, I literally have like moments with food, like deep, meaningful moments. But yeah, a steak, fucking whiskey, good to go.
Whereas I'm more eating what the kids haven't eaten off their plates. No, I really like Indian takeaway in this country. I absolutely love it. The good chicken jalfrezi, nice and spicy, lots of flavour, fluffy naan bread, mango chutney. I eat every mango chutney in the whole world. Love it. Wash it down with loads and loads of cider. Still got to stick to the stereotype. Punks and cider, it's always the way. But yeah,
It's something with
Indian
beer and alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah. Goes down well, and then you feel full up and fed, and it feels like vitamins and minerals have gone into your body. They probably haven't.
Gives you a nice big pot belly afterwards, as I like to say. So, okay. Great choices there. And Wookie for next one. You know, we got the drinks here too, so you kind of spoiled it earlier. So I guess what would you say is your favorite alcoholic drink, and what's your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
Sorry, I didn't
My
hear.
favourite alcoholic drink and non-alcoholic drink.
Oh, okay. Well, non-alcoholic is orange juice, as I said, and alcoholic would be, well, whiskey and coke, actually.
Yeah, whiskey and coke.
Yeah, but scotch.
And yours?
Well, mine will be whiskey on ice is my favourite alcoholic drink, and then my favourite non-alcoholic drink would be red wine because it's still alcoholic.
Okay, you're so cool.
I like, I'm very addicted to coffee, like coffee, definitely. So whiskey and coffee, two are probably the most bitter, miserable drinks.
That works. I mean, I love coffee too. Okay, actually, sorry, I need to add coffee as well. I fucking love
Coffee.
a basic white bitch, flat white with oat milk.
You really painting yourself here
Oat milk,
as this
that's
like dude with like truffles on his pizzas and flat whites. And,
Well, what can I do? We eat very well in Poland, so you know.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I completely agree. Whereas I don't. I'm like instant coffee in the morning to wake me up and to get me going. I drink so much coffee during the day. Yeah, cold coffee doesn't matter what. But I just like the taste and the flavour of it. Water from the tap. When I'm drinking cider, I can't deal with like Coke and Fanta and fizzy drinks and stuff. It just doesn't sit right with me. So simple.
Very good.
Because but what you guys eat and also drink as well here too. You are rail thin for what you boys do. So because that comes with working out with the music. So
Yeah.
that's our exercise routine. We don't need no fucking gym. So
It's you go to the gym more than I would do. I like running, but I haven't done it for ages because no one's chasing me. But I was a postman for 5 years as well. So like like a mail person, so walking to people's houses and carrying stuff. That kept me fit.
Mm.
being chased by the
Yeah,
dogs.
I mean,
So yeah.
Yeah.
Being chased by
I
dogs,
feel-
they helped them out. So yeah.
Who let the dogs out?
you climb.
I mean,
Yeah.
I build LED screens, so I work in events, and that keeps me fit as well because you have to climb and like lift stuff and assemble like really, really huge like
Screens,
video
yeah.
screens, and pull long cables and and it actually is quite a workout. But at the same
rigging
time,
again.
I climb, so I do bouldering, so that really helps with building LED screens. I feel like much more confident since I've been doing bouldering. So that's it's not great for drumming though. Like bouldering wrecks your hands, your wrists. I've got these like weird things here on my head. So do not climb and drum. That's
not at the same time anyway.
No,
That's
no.
dangerous.
No.
How would you get the kick drum up there?
Got the blister. So my hands are filled with callus. So yeah. Hey, but all great choices there nonetheless here too. And here for the next one, this might put you on the spot because I'm curious about TV series and movies. So I guess which ones would you say are your favorites?
So, I mean, recently my sister introduced me to Curb Your Enthusiasm, the Larry David show. I just love it. It's I don't know, it's
It's
old,
funny.
it's old, it's funny, it's politically incorrect. It's just it's got it all, Love it.
Has there ever been a time when we have been politically correct? Just out of curiosity.
That's it.
So.
Nowadays shows are, a bit too how would you call it?
Sanitized.
Sanitized.
Yeah. I think. But then it's a different era. You're watching it for what it is, not for what it will be.
Yeah. So yeah, that's me.
I've just finished watching for the third time True Detective. Only the first season though, because the rest of it, like, it's all right. First season, I watched that with my missus because she'd never seen it, and yeah, that is a show, man. So I watched. That's probably my all-time favorite TV series. It's the first season of True Detective.
I really like Californication. I think it's funny.
Good. That's a good show.
David Duchovny, as it should be. Not the X-Files, but then
the X-Files.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I watch the X-Files all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a big one for me.
And then films-wise, like because I've got young kids, it's lots of those young kids films. But if I were to put something on, if I was to choose something, I'd probably go for like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, or because I like that kind of geeky stuff.
I like Harry Potter.
You like Harry Potter? There we go.
I know. I used to be a Psycho fan. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, there we go. You're
It's Leviosa.
when she's Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
Expelliarmus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was that cringy geek at some point. But yeah.
Explains the glasses. So.
Yeah. When you're a teenager, you can do that, okay?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. They're fun books. It's good.
Even if you're an adult, you can do that.
Yeah, well,
We know what you
it's
get
a
up
bit-
to behind closed doors, Wookie. It's okay. You play with your wand, it's fine.
I would be careful there, Wookie. Don't want to wave that Wookie wand around too much.
Oh.
All right.
And
Oh,
then
great question, nonetheless.
thankfully, the studio doors are soundproof, so
No one can
no
hear
one hears me.
when you're in there on your own.
Well, we can hear what they're playing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But lots of fun questions here. This one might put you on the spot, but here's what we'll do. So, tell me what your favorite song is from the mainstream world and independent community, if you want to share. Otherwise, if you're having trouble just picking like one song from each one, just name a band that you've been listening to a good bit recently.
Am I starting?
Yeah. Go from there. Might as well.
Well, like. Oh, they're not mainstream enough.
They're not mainstream.
You just said whatever.
Okay, well, what's the Swedish band that you recommended me? I really like it.
Melancholy.
Melancholy. Yeah, I've never heard of this band before, and it's like one of these, punk pop bands, and I don't know, like every song is a banger.
Yeah.
that
really good. Penny Bridge Pioneers. I
Yeah.
was to listen to.
Sorry, I just started listening to it, so it's super cool. It's from 2000.
Yeah. So that's your underground one.
Yeah. Oh man, mainstream? I don't know.
So go on.
I don't know. I don't think there's
I
one.
think we're the wrong people to ask about mainstream.
Well, I really like Chase and Status, the stuff that's been going on in the UK. It's kind of like drum and bass. Kind of, it's got like a nasty kind of vibe to it. I like the bass and the drums in it, basically. Like it's called a song called Badadan, because we can't spell in this country anymore. That's from the mainstream, really, from things I've heard. And then the rest of it is just literally my phone going through everything from the 90s. Over and over again, things I've heard a million times, like Rancid, No Effect, Stone Temple Pilots. Like it's just a mad mix of stuff, and then I'll get like a bark sweet come along and be like, oh,
I love it.
he's actually looking at. What about you? What's your?
I'm just I'm obsessed with Jar of Flies at the moment. The acoustic Alice in Chains record. I keep listening to that, but essentially, I just go through every single fucking grunge 90s records in rotation. And I don't really listen to much else.
Yeah.
It's just like, Super Unknown in Terror. And I just yeah. And then I'll put on, like there's some pretty good Spotify playlists of like 90s, grunge stuff that, it's great fun because you get to hear stuff that you wouldn't normally listen to or whatever. But to be honest, because I've been listening to that for probably like the last 3 years, it's essentially just like I know every song and, so.
And release new music.
Yeah, I mean, as new music goes, there was like a couple of bands that I quite enjoyed. There was a band called Mama, an American band, 2 female vocalists, and they're quite like sort of 90s influenced and quite good. I liked them. Yeah, like really, I listen to old music. I don't really, I definitely do not listen to the radio or anything mainstream. Not because I think there's anything wrong with it. Well, no, that's a lie.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'd much rather get my music from podcasts or like things that you discover online.
Yeah, I try to look for bands that are unknown as well. I like discovering things that are like, a little bit more underground or like, just bands like us trying to just do stuff, and just be a little bit different. But I'm a creature of habit, man. So to be honest with you, like it's just normally
steak, whiskey, Super Unknown, done.
Yeah. Chris Cornell, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Just Stone Temple Pilots. I love them too.
Yeah. He's a great bass player as well.
And then I do listen to a bit of punk. And even you mentioned Courtney Love, I listen to a bit of Hole. I like a couple of their records. Yeah.
Let's say, would you consider any of those grunge bands to be mainstream now? I always thought it was like based on like how much in terms of popularity, monthly listeners, and all that stuff kind of worked.
Yeah, I think they kind of blurred the lines there a little bit and just sort of crossed over. And like for example, Nevermind was a humongous record. My favorite Nirvana record is In Utero, though, so it's kind of like. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Nevermind, but In Utero is the one, and Super Unknown was again a huge album. Dirt was massive too, so you could class them as mainstream in the sense that they sold a huge amount of records. But I don't know. There's just I think there's authenticity in there, and that's the key. Like for me, anyway, like a band or an artist, if they're authentic. And a lot of mainstream stuff these days, it's just a lack of authenticity. There's that desperation in their music. Like me, I want to be famous. Buy my record because this is what everybody else does. And
28 people need to write a chorus.
Can shoot me in the head.
Like why? Why do you need 28 people and 15 producers?
Yeah,
like, it's just
write your own songs, you fucking lazy bastard. Even if it's shit, at least it's yours.
It's
like,
yeah, exactly.
Jesus, like, yeah, 8 writers on one song means it ain't a song. It's a product. It's like a I don't know, fast food. That's what mainstream music is. This fast food world of music.
I mean, pop definitely is.
Oh, good, yeah.
Hey, pizza and truffles.
No,
McDonald's or
There was a saying.
There was a
saying in the music industry, like back in the day when I was like, when I was trying to, make it. Well, now I'm just like making music, and if it goes somewhere, great. But like back then, I was really trying, and I was meeting with people, and there was a saying in the music industry related to pop music, and it was throw shit at a wall and see if it sticks. And that's essentially what pop music is. It's shit, and they throw it at the wall, and then someone goes, I like that. And they go, oh, let's get another 10 of these shit things, and let's just like make as much money as we can.
As much mess as we can on the wall. And great.
That is just not my vibe at all. Like, but each to their own. I'm not judging. You know, if you like that stuff, that is absolutely fine.
Judging this shit.
Yeah.
This is my opinion, and it doesn't mean it's true. Like, what the fuck do I know? I'm
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
a long-haired twat that just sits around drinking whiskey all day. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Christ, don't come to me for advice.
That's true.
Do not
Yeah,
come to me
yeah.
for advice.
Oh, you're definitely gonna hate the last question here too. But I was gonna say, we're laughing so hard. Oh, I lost it. I'm sorry. It might come to me later, but
Okay.
well, we were having a good time right here, blokes, and everything. So we are down to one more question on my podcast right here. So I guess before we jump into it, would you guys like to ask me any questions or say any final words before we jump into it?
What's your favorite music?
I take more than metal. So I liked what the UK came out with, like Napalm Death and Bolt Thrower, like those sorts of heavy metal groups.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
It gets the blood pumping.
Cool. It's a drummer thing as well. Like, an amazing drummer, and such an influence on so many other bands that came after, like Napalm Death, like massive punk band, like really, but they're not. I don't know. Thank you for having us on your podcast. Thank you for talking to us and hearing our thoughts about all the stuff that you've asked, which is cool.
And if anyone wants to check us out, with a Monday smile, you can find us on the internet. It's easy.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, and then if you do like us and you think, nah, you know what, I've got £20. I don't know how much that is in dollars or whatever.
Like $25.
$25. It sounds so much cooler when you say that.
I know.
£20. $25. Yeah. Then please go fund us, and then we can put out a record, and you'll get a signed vinyl out of it.
Yeah.
You might not want it, but you're going to get it if you put the money out there. So.
We ship worldwide.
Yeah, we ship worldwide. Well, we will anyway.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
And maybe one day we'll come and play a gig in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, who knows?
Be a long flight over across the pond right there. So I mean,
yeah, that'd be cool.
But let me know otherwise, and then I'll see what I can do. So it'll be nice to meet you, blokes. So I do remember what I want to say. It was actually a quote. It was actually a lyric from My Wave, from the Super Unknown. Keep it off my wave.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'll
Hey.
tell you.
It's a great song.
It was a great song, but man, it is a bitch to deal with on drums. I'll tell you that much. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will tell you that much. That editing kills me every single time. I can't tell you.
Okay.
So, is there anything else?
No,
we're good, man.
Thank you.
So, well, actually, here's how the last question goes, and then Wookie, you can go first. So, given what COVID's done, obviously it seems you guys were impacted more mentally than, and maybe got a little COVID here and there too, but it seems like you guys have pulled through, and you formed a Monday Smile, and it looks like you're starting to kick some ass there too. But for those musicians and people who've been impacted by COVID or dealing with anything else in their lives, what's their message of hope could you give to those musicians and people as we try to move forward with our lives?
Do it if you love it. Definitely don't do it for the money. If you have excuses, it means you don't really want to do it, because if you really love it, you'll do it no matter what. Have fun. Just have fun. Don't forget about having fun. I think that's the ultimate thing for me, because people tend to get into some weird places, but do music for fun, and then it will work out.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Luke?
Yeah, I would say that life isn't a competition. It's not a race, and it's not about making your mark or any of that shit. It's just about enjoyment and embracing something and being creative. And all you got to do is just be yourself, because that's all you can be. Like, if you try and be someone else, you're never going to create anything authentic in your life, and you'll never be happy, because you're not yourself. You just got to be you, like, because that's all you got. and it doesn't matter whether people like it or not, because at the end of the day, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, and they all stink. That's what I've been told. So, and I agree with it. It's and you know, like, just relinquish control of it. Just let it happen, like, and let it be what it is, and don't worry about it. Like, it's just art. That's what it's supposed to be. Like, if someone doesn't like it, it doesn't mean it's not good. It just means that someone doesn't like it.
Yeah, not to be afraid of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't add anything else other than I think if you are creative and for whatever reason in your life pressures mean that you stop prioritizing that time in your life to be creative, that will start to impact you in other things. You'll start to be grumpy for no reason, for example, or like get really stressed over the smallest things. Your partners, your friends might notice that. Like, so take time to intentionally look at yourself and go, what am I missing here? Like, what? Because art and music always makes us better people. I think it's been part of culture forever and ever, and we just need to embrace the fact that we can do that as humans and enjoy the experience. I think that'll make our wider lives better.
And even if you are creative and still a miserable fuck like me, just drink loads of whiskey. It's worked for hundreds of years. And men, hundreds of years.
Alcohol is not for you kids.
Drink your feelings away and drink the pain down. Swallow it down low. Just bury that.
Sponsored by Buffalo Trace.
Yeah. And after a while, you don't feel it anymore. It's fine. I joke, of course. Don't do that. Be sensible, kids. Drink filtered water. Be miserable. Yeah.
Because I drink responsibly, kids. That's the main thing we want to take away from this too. So, and who says he couldn't give advice? He spoke like a true prodigy. So,
yeah. Thanks.
But all seriousness, thank you so much for sharing right there too. It always does mean a lot sharing that sort of stuff there. All right, the boys, we reached the end of my podcast right here. We talked, I think, without some sort of editing here and there too, because I think we had some issues we were kind of breaking up, but regardless, spoke over an hour and 40 some minutes. You guys like to throw in any final words? Want to give any shout outs before we close?
No, just thanks for listening to us and talk, and hearing us talk, and hopefully you'll like what we do, and tell your friends about it, and thank you.
I'd say thanks for to everyone who supports us and who comes to our gigs, who listens to our music and buys our merch, and we really appreciate that. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Yeah,
it means a lot to us.
Yeah.
And just real quick, what social media are you guys on? And then I guess where you're going to be playing some of your shows at come February there.
Yeah. Instagram, Monday Smile Music. We've got YouTube, which is just youtube.com/The Monday Smile. Facebook, Monday Smile. We've got a Facebook, which is The Monday Smile. If you just go on Google and you put The Monday Smile in, it'll probably find any social media you're connected to. Pretty much, we're on everything. And we're on Spotify. We're on all the
streaming platforms.
Yeah, the money grabbing bastard streaming platforms.
We got gigs on the
they're all on our website.
So the 1st of Feb, 8th of Feb,
20 and they're like
21st.
But if you find us on there, then local people would know.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a trek.
Oh, if you want to get on a plane, it's only 8 hours.
We can make it work. We'll make it work at one point. So I'll leave it up to you boys. But if you do come out here, can't wait to see you. So keep me posted.
Right, yeah.
Close out like this. Everyone, my guest today was Lukas, aka Wookie. Then we got Luke. Then we got Russell from the band The Monday Smile. These guys are kicking some major ass out there too. They're quite a bunch of dirty bastards, if we wanted to say it that way. Or I'm trying to think of DRI, like dirty rotten imbeciles or something like that there too. So all right. But nonetheless, go hit them up on the social media, all streaming platforms, everything too. And support our brothers out there in London. So y'all stay safe out there, because it is one pretty fucked up world out there. So stay safe. We rock on. Get double the horns. Stay tuned, y'all.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.